Welcome to Confluence, the podcast where hospitality, leadership, and mindset come together. Join your hosts, Santiago and Kristen, co-founders of The Colombian, a multi-cafe and roastery in Canada, as they delve into the transformative power of these three key elements on your business.
Kristen, how are you today? It's been a few months since we've done a podcast. Life's been crazy, but we're back at it, and we have something spicy to share today.
We absolutely do. We have a topic today that I think will resonate really deeply with business owners and entrepreneurs. And the title of our podcast today is, What Are You Saying Yes to?
Well, we say a lot of things yes to, or we say yes to a lot of things. And I think as a visionary, you're always excited for new opportunities and looking at the shiny things. And over the past 6 months or so, I have really pondering of like direction for the company. What are we doing? And I have realized that, yes, we love hospitality. We love what we do. But at the end of the day, we're in a coffee business. And when you run a coffee business, there is different revenues that everybody is after. And I had been thinking about different things in regards to it. But just this past weekend, I was having a conversation with somebody I consider a mentor, David Crosby from Rosso Coffee Roasters in Calgary. And we were just kind of like talking shop. And he conceptualized what I have been thinking for a long time. And it really made me reflect about what's going on in the business in the past 6 months. And it just really comes down to, in coffee, we, as coffee roasters, all try to do the same thing. We want to do a cafe. We want to do wholesale. We want to do ecommerce. We want to do office coffee programs. And there's all these different segments within coffee that are all different businesses. And some of his words were very wise around we all don't become good at everything, but we do it all. And it really made me think about specializing and figuring out what it is that you're really good at and just foot to the gas and just go as fast as you can. And he's got a lot of experience. He's been in the business for a long time. I really look up to him. And when he said that, it just really resonated and it's put me in a place today where I want to create freedom by saying no to things so that we can move forward at a faster speed. So I guess that's what we want to talk about today.
I think in business, whether it's coffee, as we're talking about, and that's our business, or whether it's something else, I think this can apply to many different types of businesses that you have a business that you are passionate about, you're growing it, you want success for it. So when opportunities come up, especially if it's something that fits in that wheelhouse. So for us, if it fits within like the product of coffee, It's really tempting to say yes to every opportunity that presents itself because you don't want to miss out. Fear of missing out. You don't want to miss a revenue stream that could help grow your business. But as we've grown and as we're growing and we're in it, it's really becoming clear to me that if you say yes to every single thing and every single different business within your business, then it actually can hinder your growth. There's so many aspects that apply to this. So, if you start you have a cafe, for example, you have your systems, you have your procedures, you've got all of your people in place, the right people in the right seats. Well, if you want to go and do wholesale coffee, for example, or grocery store coffee or office coffee, yes, can some of those systems carry over? They can, but really it is another business. You need to have your standard operating procedures. You need to have the right people in place, and it really does become like an operational beast. So within your business, you could end up with so many different business directions that it can really take, I think, your focus off of growing what you're really, really good at.
100%. And I think I'm also in a group with a bunch of business mentors, and they're not in coffee; they're in different industries. And this past week, we talked about how to maximize your effort into your business. And that also just really resonated with me because, when opportunity meets effort, there's success. But when I think of effort, I think of my time. I think of the resources that are finite within a business. And a lot of people think automatically about just money. Because money is hard to come by. You're either lending it or you're always just trying to just bridge those gaps. But aside from that, the biggest resource that a business has is its people and in the time of its people. And especially when it comes to a visionary like us, it's like I can only put so much effort into many things. And there's been times over the past year or so where I've been finding myself adjudicating time to different tasks within the business and maybe not putting as much effort into the things that are really, really fruitful and that are really going to give me the ROI on the time spent on that task or on that side of the business. And today I find myself really thinking about what can I say no in the business so that I can say yes to the things that we do well, that don't feel like work, so that I can really live out my purpose and so that I can have more time to mentor the amazing people that we have been able to gather at the Colombian today, so that I can spend time with our guests and customers, caring for them and understanding how else we can meet their needs. So it's been a very reflective past 6 months, and I think it's very powerful to learn to say no. We live in a society where saying no sometimes feels like failure, where sometimes we want to people please or we want to not be embarrassed by saying no. And man, I've started to say no to certain things. And it's just like, look at that. Nothing happened. I now have all this time to do X, Y, and Z. So to the people listening, like when you're in business is tough. You only have so much time. And when you say yes to the right things that give you purpose, that don't feel like work, it's just so much easier to just like get up, go to work, and just the things that you love.
I absolutely agree with that. For myself and like in my roles in our business, I have also been experiencing that, and it's something that you reminded me of. So I sit in our marketing seat. So I'm the marketing director, and there are always different opportunities that come up, and there's always different ideas that come up, whether it's from ideas from our own team or ideas from other people. And I think I was really saying yes to almost everything because I think, like you said, in our society, you almost feel like a failure if you say no. So being like a really high achieving woman, someone who wants to like excel in everything that I do and push our business forward, I was finding myself saying yes to almost everything, different ideas. I almost felt like I had to do it to be successful. And as well, in these past kind of several months, I have started to think about it a little bit more when each of these ideas or opportunities come up in that end of our business. And I have been saying no to more of these ideas or opportunities that come up. And I'll tell you that it has opened, I think it's opened like a reservoir of like creativity and like more focus and power and choice over what I'm doing. I think I was getting a little bit diluted in some of my decisions because I was saying yes to everything. So I think as someone who has a business that's like a new business, you don't necessarily see that, and you want to be successful, and you're frightened that if you say no, you might fail or you might lose an opportunity to someone else. So there's also the aspect that, we're talking about this right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are like 9 years into our business, but
Time flies, eh?
it does fly. I don't think we would be able to have this kind of conversation and be able to actually share that we're ourselves starting to say no to more things. I don't think we would have been able to do this a few years ago. This is something that comes with time. But if we knew now what we knew, a few years ago, would we have said yes to certain things, or would we have started saying no sooner?
I think business is like school. You have to go to certain paces to learn certain things so that you can become wise and understanding of the things that move the needle and the things that don't. The difference from school to real life business is that decisions have consequences. And when there are consequences, if you're smart, of course, you'll learn very quickly. So I think, would we have said no to some of those things? I think that is part of the journey that has gotten us here. I wouldn't have been able to reflect on the growth and the things that we have done. So I think sometimes you have to say yes and then just like hit the wall and have like those failures that we talk about. And again, like, I celebrate failure because I see it more as a learning opportunity and as a coaching opportunity. If there's a failure with some team members, and then sometimes I let them. I know where it's gonna go, but they need to learn, because the long-term effect of that is that they're gonna become wise. They're gonna learn consequences, and they're gonna measure their decisions differently. But going back to the theme of saying yes or no, I think we're able to say yes today because we have learned over the past 8-9 years that, we have said yes to some things, and it's just like, man, that sucked, but we learned this, so we're just not going to do that again. But it's very hard. It's very hard as a business, because at the end of the day, we are in the business of hospitality, where we want to make people feel special, where we want to create a culture within the company that is really good, because we want to care for people internally so that they care for our guests. And when sometimes an opportunity arises, it's like, okay, how do we do that within the values, and how do we do all those things? And because my head is spinning with ideas every day, it's like, oh yeah, let's do that. So shiny objects. And what I've had to do probably over the past while is really, and I think I've told you this before, is like become a horse that has a carriage. And a lot of those horses, they put those blinders so that they can only see forward, so nothing kind of like suppresses them from the side. And what I would say to business owners, okay, like what's the strategy? Is maybe having time to yourself where you actually, because we're busy and we always say, oh, we don't have time. But there's always like 5-10 minutes where we can sit down and just like look at the business from the top and see, okay, like what are we doing? What do I really enjoy from the business? What do I really love? What is the people that I've surrounded myself? What are they good at? And then analyze which of those things that the business does align with the people and the values and the way that you run the business, and pare it down to the ones that give you the most purpose. Because over time, you will train your brain to say no more easily, because then you're like, that doesn't fit within the wheelhouse of this department, or it doesn't fit with this value, or it doesn't fit with this goal or ideal for the business. And I think that's where we find ourselves today. Like, we're probably going to say yes to a few more things, but they're not going to work out, but we're going to learn so that down the road we can make better decisions. And I think it's the saying no, as you iterate from the learning that you had from saying yes in the opportunities prior. I don't know, that seems a little bit confusing, so I don't know if you understand that.
No, I guess maybe like in my words, I think if a business owner wanted to actually like have like an actionable takeaway, it's like to take that time to yourself and maybe audit your yeses. Reflect, have that clarity break. What am I saying yes to? Are any of these things that I'm saying yes to draining me? Are they draining the business? Are they draining like the time, energy, and resources from my team? Or is this something that is actually, if we've said yes to it, is it actually like life-giving? Is it giving that energy return? Because it's very easy when you've said yes to things. You don't want to backtrack, and that's one thing that we like to follow through with things. And so, if there's something that we've said yes to that maybe we realize we should have said no to, you can't just stop doing that, because you have to maintain like that that consistency and professionalism, and we don't just stop doing things willy-nilly. But I think if you're auditing your yeses, and really deeply considering, why did we say yes to this? Was this something that is actually going to push our business forward and it's going to give life to our team? Or is this something that is actually just going to cause more roadblocks for us? And then make that decision. It's like, okay, are we going to continue with this? Are we going to follow through with it? Are we going to adjust it and revise how we're doing it? Or maybe are we going to close the door on this particular decision?
And it is totally okay to do that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people do it for pride, or do it like, oh, I don't want to say to the team, no, we're not going to do that, or I'm changing directions. But guess what? It's your freaking business. You get to do whatever it is that you want to do within reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's okay. Like at the end of the day, if you care for your people and you explain to them like why and the how you came to that decision, they're going to respect that. Because at the end of the day, if they're working hard for you, if they're aligning with the values, if they are contributing to the team and the company, they're always going to understand that the decisions that you make are not made just lightly. So, I guess to complement that, the other thing that came out of that conversation is that we find ourselves as business owners, when we say yes to too many things, we become adjudicators of money and time. And if we have this big spread of things, then all of a sudden we can make as much of a push on the things that really move the needle, because we're so spread out. And when we really kind of like create that thing where we're just like putting energy into this, putting energy into that, then you have a lot more resources. And then you're actually able to move the needle, and you're able to specialize, and you're able to just become so much better than your competitors at the things that you do. And nobody can compete with that, because everybody else is like us, chasing squirrels. But sometimes you have to put the blinders on and just chase the one squirrel that you know is gonna find the nuts for you. So there you go. I don't know. That's about that joke right there.
That's really well said.
Yeah.
And I think like your best resource, I have some notes here that I'm reading. Your best resource isn't money. Your best resource is focus. It's focus from your team and your time.
100%.
It's the people aspect. That's your biggest resource, and you do need to protect that. And I think even if we have a filter that we use to make decisions for our business, and it really comes down to like our core focus.
Yeah.
So our core focus is that we help people experience Colombian specialty coffee through simple yet extraordinary hospitality. So we take that focus, and then any decision that comes our way, that's what we filter it through. Is this decision supporting this core focus? Now, the thing that we've discovered is that it's a great filter, and we've been able to filter out a lot of ideas that we have that actually don't fit that. And that's been really helpful. But there's, of course, going to be the decisions that do fit that filter, and that they come through and you execute on it. But we've had things happen where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? That did fit. It went through the filter, but I don't know if this is actually the best use of our time and our energy. So I think to have a filter for any business is really, really important, because that'll eliminate a lot of decisions and choices that are not going to support your business. But then you still have to do that self-audit and that reflection, and go with that end of it as well, because there's that human side that requires like that introspection.
I think so. And I guess I'm going to do an analogy related to coffee. You can have the most amazing coffee, but if you don't put it through the right filter that removes the right particles, that gives it the right mouthfeel, that coffee's not going to taste good. And I think that very much it resonates with business. It's like the filter determines whether you do it or not, and it just becomes easier to say no.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the takeaways for people today?
I think the takeaways, just to kind of recap, I would say auditing what you're saying yes to, really looking at the fact that your best resource is the focus of yourself, like ourselves, like as founders of a business and the team that we surround ourselves with.
Okay.
You can recover from decisions that maybe like negatively affect finances, but it's harder to recover like that lost time and energy, because time and energy is not something you can ever get back. And growth, I think, doesn't always mean more. Sometimes it means like just going like deeper into what you're good at. So spreading yourself thin is usually not going to give you the results as an entrepreneur that you want. I think going deeper into something, so focusing on what you're really, really good at and like doubling down on that, doubling down on your resources, your time, your energy, that's going to give you the best return on your business.
Okay.
What are your takeaways?
I mean, this is from this, and then also just from a meeting that I was in this week. That there was a lot of good nuggets that I got out of it. I think one of them is look where you stand, and that I'm actually going to take some of these things and I'm going to journal them, and I've been really thinking about this one because it's like look where you stand. So if I look back to 9 years ago, where was I 9 years ago? Where am I today? And look at standing here, what am I really good at, so that I can put all my effort into those things. Because like we have been iterating, and if we're good at that, we can become even better. So I think that's a good thing. And then the other thing that came out of that was this saying that there is always something to paint. And that stuck with me because, yeah, as a business owners, there's always an opportunity. There is always something else to do. But should we really paint that, right? So just choosing the things that you paint and when you paint them. So yeah, I think those are the takeaways from this today, because I really want to provide some value to people, and maybe some of the small wisdom that we have gained over time, so that maybe they don't have to go through the things that we did, and so that they maybe have a lot more success and business becomes a little bit easier for them. Is there anything else that you want to share?
I think, there's so many different aspects in business, and I think just always learning, always growing, always seeking, I think, mentorship from people that have had experiences. And
very much so.
We are very fortunate that that we have people, for example, like your conversation with David Crosby, being able to talk to someone who's been in this a lot longer than we have.
For sure.
And I think to seek those kinds of like relationships where you actually can get that mentorship from people that have kind of walked this path is something that I think all business owners should seek out in some capacity. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we should talk to Dave, and maybe we should do a coffee podcast with him, and just maybe get him on here. So
okay, we're coming for you, David Crosby.
Yeah, so I'll give him a shout and see when he's down to do something like that.
Great.
Anyway, thank you for listening to us today. I know it's been a bit. We're hoping to get into a more regular cadence so that we can share more powerful nuggets from our journey for these past 9 years.
Okay.
Thank you.